Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Multiverse News broadcast. Our top story today is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness writer Michael Waldron and his interview that he did with ScreenRant. Waldron was asked a bunch of questions about the film and specifically had some interesting insight on Wanda that we'll get into today. Waldron said that he wanted to explore the anger side of Wanda's character. He's quoted saying, "Whether that was the corrupting influence of the Darkhold and the effect that it had on her since the events of WandaVision, or her very justified point of view on Stephen Strange and the other heroes' hypocrisy towards her actions. You guys break the rules and you become heroes. I do it and I become the enemy." He goes on to say, "I think that's what pushes Wanda to this place of anger, and I think that this is the one thing that isn't quite resolved in WandaVision, that we do get to explore in this movie, that state of anger." When asked about the Illuminati lineup in the 838 universe, Waldron's quote is saying, "Somehow we got all of our ringers. We were just super lucky in that and how that came together." This seems somewhat contradictory of what he said in an interview with the Rolling Stone, where he talked about asking Kevin Feige if they could get Tom Cruise and Iron Man for the film. Tom Cruise was originally slated for the Tony Stark role before Robert Downey Jr. When they were shooting Iron Man in 2008. When asked about Wanda's ultimate fate at the end of the film, he's quoted saying, "Who do you think would win, Wanda or a giant mountain?" But went on to say that Wanda didn't finish the film as the Scarlet Witch, she finished it as Wanda Maximoff. Waldron is the writer for a Star Wars movie under the direction of Kevin Feige. He dropped some hints in the ScreenRant interview saying that the Star Wars film is not going to be a prequel or sequel to anything currently living in the Star Wars universe. It's a fresh take and a whole new story. I suspect that this means that he's going to go way back into the past of Star Wars, completely far and away from any of the current characters and eras. I don't think he's going into the future because I think Lucasfilm has some pretty big plans for Grogu going far into the future, and they don't want anything to contradict or muddy that up before they start planning that, so I think he's going to go far into the past. Our next big story follows the debut of Reed Richards into the MCU. It is rumored that Bryce Dallas Howard is going to direct the Fantastic Four movie, while also starring as Sue Storm. John Krasinski is rumored to return his role to Reed Richards, and he also offered to be an executive producer of the film. Howard directed some of the fan-favorite episodes of The Mandalorian, such as Season 1, Episode 4, The Sanctuary, introducing Cara Dune, and Season 2, Episode 3, The Heiress, reintroducing the fan-favorite Bo-Katan. She also directed Episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett, The Return of the Mandalorian. The sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has been named and is slated to come out next year. EA is planning to release Star Wars Jedi Survivor before March of 2023. This sequel to the game will likely follow Cal Kestis and the Mantis crew as they run away as fugitives of the Empire after catching the attention of Darth Vader. The main objective of the game is not known yet. Our next big story is that the Ahsoka show officially started production last week on May 9th. We know the show is going to follow Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka and her quest to find Ezra Bridger after he and Grand Admiral Thrawn were pulled into hyperspace. The show doesn't have an official release date yet, but it is rumored to come out at the end of this year or early next year, somehow dodging the third season of Mandalorian. George Lucas's birthday was celebrated on May 14th as he turned 78 this year. All of us here at MNB thank him for creating the universe we all know and love, and we wish him many more birthdays to come. Our last and most special story is that you tuned into this week's broadcast. We hope to see you again next week, and from all of us here at MNB, good night.